Yo, what's going on, guys? Back here with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the differences between meditation and journaling and why you need to do both. So if you've been in the self-improvement space at all in the last sort of 5 to 6 years, when you've seen all these YouTubers talk about mindfulness and self-awareness and presence, then you may know something a little bit about meditation and journaling, and the fact that every self-improvement journey pretty much that I've heard, like Hamza, like Ali Abdal, like even some of the big players like Teaching Men's Fashion and all those guys, Alex Costa, etc., they all talk about the importance of meditating. So why is there so much emphasis on meditation? Well, my life coach, who's an epic lad, making heaps and heaps of money, working for a large investment company and also leading a not-for-profit community service and basically a community group for Sikhs in Australia. He's talking about the idea that self-awareness is the key to everything. Now, let me rewind a second and just talk a little bit about what meditation is and what journaling is, and then I'll dive into why self-awareness is so important. So, meditation and journaling are essentially ways for you to train your mind to think about itself and think about what you're thinking about. So that's a term called metacognition, which meta meaning obviously your own thoughts, and cognition meaning the way you're thinking about them. So thinking about your own thinking, metacognition. Now, meditating is essentially not trying to block out the thoughts that you have in your mind, but sitting down in a quiet place where you're not going to be disturbed and just allowing your mind to think about what it would normally think about. So if you're a normal person and you have a day job, let's say, or you're going to school, you're going to university, you may be thinking about, oh, this person said this at work, this is how I should have reacted, but I reacted like this. You might be thinking about your relationships, about your money, about your health. There are inevitably, 100 different things that you may be thinking about. So naturally, you just sit down, you just allow your thoughts to go where they want to go, and you're just observing them. So imagining like your brain and your mind is sort of like the blue sky in the sky, and each thought is like a cloud. So for each cloud that you have, you're just looking at it, you're kind of cloud gazing, you're wondering what shape it is, you're noticing that you're having it, and it's a thought that exists, and then you're allowing it to drift away with the wind. So by doing this, what you're essentially training your mind to do is learn about the thoughts of pattern that you're having and be more aware of them. So as an example, if you're mindlessly scrolling on your phone and you train this awareness within your brain, you meditate a lot and you become good at this, then you'll be aware of the fact that essentially you have been spending time on your phone, you're just wasting time scrolling up and down, and you'll be able to click yourself out of it because you're aware of the way you're thinking, what you're thinking about. Whereas someone who isn't very aware may be in a present moment, like they may be driving their car, but not see someone else indicate. Or they may be writing a piece of paper, or on a piece of paper, or trying to write an essay, or something at work, and they can't focus because they keep getting distracted by their thoughts. Right, so what's the difference between that and journaling? So with journaling, what you're doing instead is at least journaling that I do is consciousness journaling. So you just essentially sit down and whatever comes to your mind, you allow yourself to write it down. And at the end of the page, you've written down all your thoughts in one big stream. It doesn't matter if the grammar or the punctuation's right, or what you've even thought about. It's more about the fact that you just thought about certain things and you've just gotten them out onto the page. So those are the two different types of self-awareness that are promoted heavily in all these different types of YouTubers. And some of you people on this channel or other channels that are watching self-improvement may already be practicing some of these things. So I've talked a little bit about how self-awareness is really, really important, but I think if we delve down even further deeper into it, and I give a few more examples, it may become clear as to why it's super, super important. So consider the fact that every single decision that you've made and every single thought that you've made has had a impact on the way that you're living your life. So if you're at work and you want to perform highly, then you need to be focused in the meetings you're having. You need to be focused on the tasks that you have in front of you and get things done in a more productive manner. But you can't do that necessarily if you're always thinking about other things. You've got thoughts running around your mind that you can't control, and you haven't really filtered out the mailbox, so to say, and brought that down to zero. So there's a very famous financial guru, Naval Ravikant. You may have heard of him, who talks about meditation as sort of being like having an inbox full of messages that you haven't read, and these are just piling up over and over the years. These are your subconscious thoughts, your memories, the things that you feel that you don't consciously process, because day to day your day is basically full of going to work, driving home, cooking, cleaning, looking after the kids, or whatever other responsibilities you have, going to the gym, and you have no time to process thoughts that are sort of subconscious, or events in your life that you haven't completely delved down into the bottom of. So each of these are unread mails in your inbox. Now, if you spend time meditating, then what you're doing is you're allowing your brain to subconsciously process all of these unread messages. And as you meditate more often, as you spend the time to actually practice this mindfulness, you realize that any new messages that come in are easier to deal with, because they're not getting piled together with the mess of messages that were existing there before. So anyway, that's what Naval Ravikant talks about, and I highly suggest you look up his videos about this topic. Anyways, another really, really important connection with your brain and your mindfulness in terms of meditation and journaling is that of your body. So if you're trying to gain weight in the gym, you're trying to build some muscle, as most young men are, then you've probably heard of the whole idea of the mind-body connection, or the mind-muscle connection. And if you're able to stay focused for a longer period of time, you're not delving into these random mindless thoughts, or the monkey chatter, as some people like to call it, then you're able to focus more deeply on the muscle that you're trying to build. And there's been studies done, I'll quote some, I'll try and link some down below in the description, where the mind-muscle connection really does have an impact on the ability for a man to grow his muscles. So I think if you ever think about it, on any level in your life, any problem that you're having, if you're having a hard time being productive, having a hard time focusing, having relationship problems, XYZ, the list goes on, mindfulness and self-awareness and presence in the moment that you're in is really, really crucial for anyone to get through these problems and get better at solving problems. Okay, so now back to the initial topic of the difference between mindfulness in terms of meditation and journaling. I was pondering this recently, and I think that meditation in particular is excellent for when you have a lot of brain chatter. So when you have a lot of thoughts that are random thoughts that aren't necessarily causing you anxiety or causing you stress, but something that just random monkey mind chatter. So things in your brain that will just pop up randomly. Like, let's just say I'm driving, oh, that girl over there looks really nice. Oh, I'm trying to focus on my assignment, and hey, this pen's really cool, let me go try it over there on the corner. These sort of thoughts where you're basically, your brain isn't able to sort of nail down on the task that it's working on. It keeps getting distracted by shiny objects around you. And I think meditation is particularly useful for that, because you're able to catch those thoughts, be aware of them as they come in, filter them out, let the cloud pass, and move back on to what you're supposed to be doing. Journaling, on the other hand, I think has a lot of value when you're processing a certain issue or problem that you can't really get to the bottom of. So I have a few friends at the moment who are going through some depression, going through some hard times in their life where they're really missing their exes, or they're missing their partners quite a lot. And this is a particular issue that your brain is going round and round in circles on, which you need to allow it time to really process deeply. So while meditation will help you catch the negative thoughts and the random thoughts that arise in relation to that, I think journaling, particularly on that topic, is something that would significantly help. So what you're doing in that sphere there is basically sitting down with an empty piece of paper and a pen, no distractions around you, and what you're allowing yourself to do is just talk about anything that comes up in regards to that issue. And a really, really good practice in that is to basically use the 5 whys method. So the 5 whys is you'll write down what problem you're facing, why do you think that's a problem or why you're facing it, and then continuously ask why to the answer that you come up with. So if I was to give you an example of that, okay, let's just take loneliness as an example. All right, I'm feeling really, really lonely these days. Why am I feeling this way? Okay, I may be feeling this way because I've lost touch with my friends. Like I don't call them as much. I'm working long hours, so I no longer get to spend a lot of time with them. And back when I was at school or university, I would get to hang out with them all the time. Cool. Why is that a problem? Why am I working too much? Why is that something that gives me a sense of not being lonely? All right, so now you can delve deeper into that. So that answer to that may be, well, I feel connected when I get to call my friends or spend time with them, and I'm basically able to share things with them and laugh and joke around. All right, cool. So now you come down to the source of the problem, just with 3 whys. So the solution may be, I need to find time outside of work to be able to call my friends more often, or I need to find a way to maybe get those same feelings at work. So for example, maybe I'll try and joke around with my colleagues a bit more. And this is a really, really strong technique to use when you do your journaling. And so that's the differences, I think, between journaling and meditation. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you got this far, then thank you so much for watching. And as always, peace, enjoy, take care, live life, much love.